Hello and welcome to the T Should Know on Signature TV, the show where we listen, learn and grow. The TSK show is where teenagers are empowered with the right knowledge to thrive and parents are equipped with the tools to guide them, because when teenagers know better, they do better. My name is Ifoma the Prof Mato and I'm your host on the TSK show. So today we are diving into a very rare conversation, which is adjusting to campus life, the expectations versus the reality. You know, many teenagers dream of getting into the university or into the college, so to say. We talk about the freedom, the vibe, the independence, but when reality finally sets in, it comes with mixed emotions, the excitement, the pressure, the loneliness, and the silent need to adjust quickly. So today we have a young student with us who will be sharing her honest experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, the tough, and the unexpected parts of campus life. This conversation is for every teenager preparing for campus and every parent trying to understand their child's new world, and every current student still trying to find balance. So we'll go on a short break, and when we return, we'll meet our guest for today. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back to the TSK show on Signature TV. And today we are talking about campus life, the reality and the expectations. So our guest today is a teenage student currently living in one of the Nigerian universities, and she's living the Nigerian campus experience. She's here to share the real side of campus life, the excitement, the shock, and the personal growth that comes with new independence. Please join me as I welcome her, and as she speaks from a place many teenagers are stepping into. Please, let's welcome Prosper Ifatuchukwu Anyi. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank
You're
you.
very well, thank you. So, welcome to the TSK show.
Thank you.
This is where teenagers are empowered with the right knowledge. I know there are teenagers, you know, they just finished their work, and there's this excitement of, I want to get into school. Because I know when I got admission, one of the excitement I had was I wanted to leave the house. Like I wanted to have that life of independence and all of that. Then secondly, I was sad somehow because the course I wanted wasn't what they gave me, but I just had to go. So I know this is the reality of so many teenagers out there. So I want to ask you, before you resumed, what was the picture of a campus life? What was it like for you? What were you imagining? What was it looking like for you? What's that expectation you had?
First of all, thank you very much for having me. And my expectations in campus life, I had envisioned myself as one independent superwoman. Immediately, I enter my first year, and you know, you're left to do things at your pace. Nobody's there to supervise or study, and you're just expected to know the right things to do and at the right time. So it was a lot different than I expected.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, so what was your first shock the moment you stepped into the campus? Because when I came, the first day I came into the campus, I saw they were having SUG elections. So I saw them chanting, the noise, the displays. It was so interesting.
Yeah.
But at a point, but when I got to the point of registration, a whole lot of things was, I can't even fix it. So what was your first shock?
My first shock, I think the noise and the hustle and bustle, everything was expected. But my first shock was that everybody was trying to get by. In secondary school, my personal experience was always striving to do better than others. But people in the university would be happy with a D. Like, if I can just pass this course, it'll be fine. But nobody's aiming for an A, and it's like, I'm the only person running this race. And it was a shock that everybody was like okay with the bare minimum, and it was as if I was the
everyone
only
was just
one.
indifferent.
Yes.
Okay.
So that struck out for me.
You felt like, oh, there's there's no pressure. They were not under pressure for that kind of academic excellence you see in secondary school, where you want to be the top of the class. Wow. So let's look at the hostel life. You know, having to wake up early morning, water scarcity, typical of a Nigerian university campus life. So what was the hostel life for you?
Okay, I didn't particularly have a taste of hostel life because I had rented out a lodge, but it somewhat felt the same because, you know, the noise in the corridors, the way people are always in your space, and it was yes. So I got to see that I was really left on my own because nobody, like, you would see people leaving the house around like 12 in the early morning. So everywhere was, I wouldn't say it was carefree. There was just too much independence. It was more than I could swallow at the time. But yes, it was, yes. We didn't really have scarcity of water and all that, but the experiences were somewhat similar to hostel life.
What hostel life looks like. Now, talking about space and having lived maybe during your secondary school, were you a boarder in secondary school?
No.
Okay, you were going to school from the house. Yes. Now, it's a new environment, it's a different experience. Yes. Let's talk about how did you manage sharing your space, securing your belongings, and setting boundaries also. Yes. So how did you manage that? Okay,
growing up, there was, you know, I like to think that everybody has this innate need to be validated. But what needs to be learned is, you know, they need to be assertive and actually make it clear what you want and what you wouldn't have. So I was taught to be firm and kind at the same time, because I wouldn't be rude and say, I wouldn't. So I had a roommate, and for me, it was fine to. It was okay for me to tell her, okay, these are the certain things that I wouldn't want to happen, and they will actually cause problems between us. So we just and I thank God for giving me somebody that was understanding, because we were able to set clear boundaries and not get in each other's way. So that was also nice. But adjusting to campus life, it felt like walking into a story that wasn't even mine. Yes. But with each passing day, you know, the routine, the new faces, the diversity in personalities, you know, and the emotions that didn't always feel like my own. It gave me this sense of verisimilitude. I'm sorry, the English is in my experiences. So it was fine for me setting boundaries with the people I met and making things clear on the type of things I would or would not have.
Okay, I think well, what really helped you was your ability to communicate your values. Yes, because, you know, sometimes people have values, they don't communicate it. You don't expect the next person to assume you don't want this or you want that. So I think by the time you communicated, this is what I want and this is how I want it, and you are firm with it, because sometimes people will want to compromise, and that's where one or two issues will start coming up. So now let's look at lectures. Rushing to having to wake up early, rushing to the lecture halls and all of that. So what was the experience like for you?
It was, I pride myself in being an early riser.
Okay.
But it was somewhat still stressful because I would be on the road by 7 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't be dressing. I would be on the road.
Like
you're already on the road. I'm already stepping. So it was a lot. And then sometimes you will come and the lecturer will take his sweet time. And everybody, it was a lot. Getting to lectures on time. Not just to meet up with the lecture, but to make sure that you will be in a comfortable space for the lecture. Because sometimes you're there and you're having combined classes with other departments. And everywhere is choked up. You won't. It's a bit as if you shouldn't have even gone for the class. Cause yes.
Okay, so I want to ask you, how did you cope with lecture hall strategy? You know, there are strategies where people have to put their bags, jumping through the window to secure a space, especially when there's combined courses from other departments and all of that. So how did you cope in that situation?
So I'm not really athletic, so I didn't jump any windows. But this is where the clear communication comes into play. So I was able to make acquaintances and, you know, friends in the process, that I can trust this person. Please come to lecture, drop your bag for me. And that this is where you actually need people. You can't really survive on campus as a lone wolf. You would need people to lean on. You would need people to trust for certain things, and it really helps. Not to say that I was missing lectures and I depended on friends, but it was really something that helped.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the teaching styles.
Yeah.
That of the secondary school and that of the university.
You know, there's constant supervision on you in secondary school. Yes, you know, and in my secondary school there was extra supervision on top of the constant supervision. We would have, I was still given like back-to-back projects in my SS3, and we would have pop-up quizzes, we would have student of the month quizzes, we would have midterm tests, and we're like, these people want to kill us. But in the university, you're left to do things on your own. Nobody will tell you,
you listen.
Go and read, go and do. Nobody's there to tell you anything. And at that point, it's up to you to know that you just need to do what you need to do. And that's why I always tell people, before you step into something new, have enough awareness of yourself.
Of course.
Because if you know that you're walking into this and this is the result you want to achieve, you know that you have to go to the library. You won't just enter the university and campus life will overwhelm you, and then you're too busy trying to make friends, too busy trying to fit in, that you forgot you're in school, you're not in a social gathering.
Of course.
So yes, it's really important to keep that in view, because I remember when I woke up one time, I was like, I'm not going to class today, and I'm like, wow, I really just said that to myself, and nobody's going to penalize me for it.
For not coming to class.
Nobody's going to penalize, and I'm like, I'm really on my own here. So it's up to you to make the right choices to get the results that you want to get. And also, as I mentioned, association. You have friends out there, let's go to the library to read. Exam time is not the time for reading. We need to start now. So all those come to play. So,
okay.
Yes.
Okay, I know in secondary school we have the staff room where you have your form teachers where you can go and make your complaints and all of that, but it's not like that in the campus. So had there been a time you needed to approach a lecturer for something, like maybe something he taught in class that was not too clear, and you know we have this I'm sorry, but we have this kind of somehow arrogant Nigerian lecturers that will not even wait for you to ask questions. So
we do.
How did you manage that?
Okay. The thing is that my dad would always tell me that I should try to get a glimpse of what I'm going to get in class, because at the beginning of the semester or somewhere into the semester, you're given the course outline. It's up to me to just skim through it and see what I can pick up it, so that things will not be entirely new to me when I get to class. So there was this occasion where I had to meet my lecturer, and thankfully he didn't blow me off. He wasn't really kind and patient with me, but he was able to like explain things. And because it was a very sensitive topic. Okay. Yes, because that was physical chemistry, and it's not something that you use your brain to fathom in one magical epiphany. It had really, really lengthy steps, and so he was able to do that for me. I wouldn't say it's the same for every lecturer. And then your manner of approach is very important, because you can say, sir, I didn't understand this thing you said. A lot of people will, so all those things come to play to make sure that you probably get an answer from your lecturer or not.
Okay. Let's look at that little independence where nobody's supervising you about your going to classes, reading, doing your assignments, and all of that. So how did you get to the point of taking full responsibility just for yourself, that supervision?
Okay, so I wanted to have an honest conversation, and I wouldn't say I found myself immediately. I was really overwhelmed with
at the initial
the
stage.
too much freedom, and it was a lot to take in at first, and I was still trying to get a feel of everything. But thankfully, I got myself on time. I was able to, get myself back in order and everything. So, firstly, my friends helped quite well, and also that personal conviction that I'm here for something. I want to get to where I want to get to, so I had to call myself to order. So first thing you need to do, a lot of people tell you, okay, have a reading timetable, but that doesn't always work for everybody. A lot of people have this mechanism in their brains that systems don't really, their brains tend to corrupt the systems that they've made up to. So I would also tell you to do things in a scattered manner, but know what you want and take practical steps towards it. If you know that, I don't always try to make realistic goals. Don't say, I will go to the library 4 times per week. I'll make sure I cover before the end of the semester. Set realistic goals. Let it be something that you can be able to keep up
with
at your pace and still get to,
and not be under any form of pressure.
Yes. Exactly. Because some people, the pressure is not exhilarating in any way. Reading in exam period when you know nothing, it is not the way. It is not the way. So yes, and another thing is that I was able to accountability.
Okay.
I had people to answer to, not my parents, not only my parents. I had people to answer to. I had joined a fellowship.
Okay. In school.
Yes, I had joined a fellowship in school. NCF is the fellowship branch of Dominion City, so for students, and I had people that would ask me, what have you read today?
Okay.
This test you're about to write, do you know what? So how much have you covered? And they're also students, so they have an idea of, okay, this topic, come to the library, let me help you do this. So accountability beautiful. Is really important. Yes, accountability, because at the point where you know that you're not doing this thing for just yourself, you have people to answer to. Yes, and you cannot avoid their calls, they become your hands. So all that, yes.
Oh wow, thank you so much, Prosper, for coming. And this has been actually a wonderful conversation, and from coastal realities to lecture hall survival and adjusting to a new level of independence. So it's very clear that campus is more than just freedom. It's also a training ground for responsibility and self-awareness. So we are going to take a short break now, but when we return, we'll talk more and we are going to learn more. Please do not go anywhere. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been having a very eye-opening conversation about campus life. Not just the social media version, but the real journey of adjusting, learning, and finding your fruit. And my guest, who is a Nigerian university student, have been sharing her experiences so far. And one of the things she said in the last conversation is accountability, having people who you talk to, who you need to explain things, and you can't even just dodge their calls. And these are not her parents, but other students in the campus who have put her on her feet and put her on her toes to know that you are here for something and you shouldn't be distracted. So if you're a teenager and you're just joining us, this is the TSK show on Signature TV, and the conversation continues. So Prosper, I want to ask, campus life changes people. Where you seek independence, you want to be free, you want to do a whole lot of things. So was there a time you were tempted to or you saw yourself like, I'm losing myself, this is not me, like I am trying to, let me not say go astray or sway from my my values? Well, I know it happens. So has there, at some point, did you have that experience like, it's like I'm trying to lose it somehow?
I think so. Okay. I think so, because there was one time I was running late for class and I was ready. I was dressed, I had my notes, I had everything to go to class. But I was late because I was waiting for somebody. I was waiting for somebody to follow me to class, and I'm like, I didn't come here to, and it wasn't
to pair with anybody.
Don't get me wrong, it's fine to have friends that you can do things together with, But then, as I said before, you need to know yourself very well. You need to, that self-awareness is really, really important, because at the point where you begin to intentionally lag behind because of a trivial issue, it's not really worth it, and the whoever you're waiting for will not reward you. So I feel like it's really important to just make sure that you are in full awareness of yourself, so that you won't get lost trying to blend and fit in, that you just lose yourself in the crowd. It's better to stand out, be the weird one, than to just dissolve and mix with everybody. Yes. So.
I love that. So that means you intentionally set some boundaries, values for yourself to protect your peace and your mental health.
Yes.
At what point did you do that?
I told you, my life in my private lodge was similar to a hostel, so you can imagine the kind of neighbors I had. My neighbors would be blasting songs at the hours when the world is asleep. And it was really annoying. It was a lot, but at the same time, when there are things out of your control, there are still things that you have the reins on, that you can still control. So nobody's entering my room after 10 p.m.
Okay. Nobody
comes to ask me for certain things, or they are just things that I put in place. And my cousin lived next door.
Okay.
My cousin lived next door, so we came together actually. We had the same experience in first year. And then I told him, see, these your friends, there are things that I will not allow. And so even from him, I made it clear that there are some things that I wouldn't take. But then, sometimes I'm not saying that it's not okay to be
social.
Social. I'm also not saying that it's okay to be rigid and stoic. We should make room for flexibility once in a while, but not at the expense of things that are important to you, not at your own expense. So it's very important to know where you stand and let other people know as well, so that they won't cross boundaries. So that everybody will live in peace and harmony.
Okay, then before we go, this is a program for teens and parents. I believe there's a teenager or a parent whose teen is trying to get into the campus. So if you could speak to a teenager preparing to resume campus, what would be your honest advice?
My honest advice?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, know what you're going to college to do. Be aware of what you're going to college to do. You are going, make sure that your goals are clearly set. Because once you don't have definitive goals, you just be drifting. There's nothing that you are truly aiming
Everything
for.
goes.
Yes. So, and another thing is that, okay, I've already mentioned, being intentional about the goals that you want to achieve. Also, accountability is very important. So think you're entering the university to be one superhero. You definitely need some people that will talk sense to you. You definitely need people that you would be accountable to, people that would keep you on your toes for the right reasons. For the right reasons, you really need that. Another thing, please, the university is not a place for you to. It's fine for you to mingle, but don't do it at the expense of what you came to the university to do. Don't go and get boyfriends. It's not going to
couples on campus.
Nah, it's not a matchmaking site. You're not going to the realistic version of Tinder. Know what you're going to do. Accountability, self-awareness, all those things will really, really help you. And also have it in your mind that you will not be penalized for speaking your truth. People will not, they can say whatever they want to say, but it's not going to come to affect you. Make sure that you are very firm in your values. Don't try to be malleable to fit in with everybody's idea of you. You were who you are before you entered university.
Of course.
So nobody has the right to shape you into their own ideologies. Make sure that you stand for what is right and what is true. Make sure that everybody around you is aware of that. And I'm not promising you a a
A
joy
smooth
ride,
ride.
but things will be easier for you. Trust me. Things will be better.
Okay, finally, because this show is where teenagers are empowered with the right knowledge to thrive. So, to you, what does thriving on campus mean? Not just surviving.
Thriving on campus. I would summarize it to this sentence that they always say at my church: living a balanced life.
Like,
Yes. So at that point, you need to make sure that you come correct with God, because there are a lot of things, almost everything that you will meet in university is out of your control. You have nothing to do about it. You will just stay, and you want to use God that begs to finish. You need to really come correct with God. And I told you that accountability, most of the people that I had to answer to were from my fellowship.
okay.
Another thing is that you need to, just as I said, my first shock that everybody was just trying to get by. If I get D, it's fine for me. As long as I don't feel this course and I don't have to carry over. It's be the best. Be the best.
Aim to be the best.
Yes, be the best. You will not. All the more benefits if you get first class. All the more benefits. You don't need to. Just as I said, you don't need to dissolve to enter other people's molds of their opinions.
You don't need to bend to fit in.
You do not need that. Don't be malleable. Don't be that person. So it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to be lost once in a while. You must not know everything. A lot of things surpass logic in life, and especially in university. So having that rough experience in UNN, of all places, it helped me understand that. So make sure that you come correct with God. Make sure that you know what you're there to do. There's a library there, and there's a library in your school, not just UNN. There's a library in your school. Make use of it. And if you're the kind of person that you like to read in solitude, just make sure that you do what works for you. Because I was that kind of person, and the library is normally always quiet. Don't feel like, oh, I want to read in my own space. You stay on your comfortable bed and sleep, and you realize that you haven't read to the end of the semester, and everybody say, oh, timetables are out, and you don't know anything. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Make sure that you have clear goals, realistic goals set. Make sure that you come correct with God, and make sure that you are in full awareness of yourself, so that they will not tell you, oh, there's this party, let's go. And because you're still trying to
find your feet,
you're still trying to find your feet, you go, it's part of the university life. Don't try to swim into everybody's, don't try to follow the crowd, basically.
Be yourself.
Stand alone.
Stand out. Oh wow, it's been an amazing conversation, and I want to say thank you to my guest, Prosper. You've really spoken to a whole lot of teenagers out there wanting to go into the campus. Like she said in her last closing recap, she said, come correct with God, because a whole lot of things will look overwhelming, it will be new to you, but when you are self-aware, you have the God factor, and you have people you are accountable to, you will definitely stand out. Just know why you are there, and tell yourself, I am here for a reason, and I'm not going to be like everybody. Like she said, don't try to please anyone, don't try to bend to fit in, just be yourself. Oh, it's a wrap for today on the TSK show on Signature TV. For the teenager out there, remember, knowledge is power, and you have been empowered with the right knowledge to thrive. So keep learning, keep growing, and keep showing up for yourself. And I'll see you again next time on the TSK show. Bye for now.